you're all really welcome today. As we already mentioned, what we're going to do is I'm going to do a really quick run through just of the festival in terms of what our theme is, some ideas we have for collaboration, and I'll keep it really brief. It's really just to give you a taster of what we're planning for next year. Nothing is really set in stone in terms of activities, and what we'd love to hear from groups is what is kind of, I guess, what you'd like to see the festival looking like in terms of that local activities and approach, how AONTAS can support you as an organisation, and we'll be looking at those questions specifically in breakout rooms. Then my colleague Barry is going to do a run through of the Star Award nomination process, just to show you what that looks like. You may be thinking about putting in a nomination, and really this is your opportunity to ask questions. We also have a video from Martin Flynn from OCN NI, and he was a judge last year, and he's going to give some feedback in terms of that judging process. We're also delighted to have Marian Hennessy from Ability at Work and Niamh Kelly from LTI, the National Print Museum, who are both previous Star Award winners, so can hopefully give you some information and really talk about the benefits of applying for a Star Award and what it's like to win. And then we'll go into the discussion sessions and hopefully have lots of time for ideas. I guess just to say, as always, we're really open to listening to feedback from members, and it's something we're really going to incorporate in terms of planning for the 2021 festival. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to share my screen and just do a really quick presentation, just to show you about where we're at with the festival and what we're thinking. Apologies, now I'm just going to go back to the start. So I guess in thinking about a theme for the 2021 festival, we actually came back to the member webinars over the year and thinking about some of the themes, some of the feedback that was coming up. And I guess collaboration was a huge element that groups kept talking about in every webinar that I've attended, the value of collaboration, and I guess building back better together, and better together is our hashtag. So really what we want to do during the 2021 festival, and we have it marked from the 1st to the 5th of March 2021. And I guess as a collective, we want to send a strong message of hope to the Irish adult learning sector. And I think now that's really important to do with the year that's been in it. I guess in thinking about opportunities, we really want to reimagine the festival. We're in our 15th year in 2021. And I guess we feel from an AONTAS perspective that this gives us an opportunity. Like, we have to reimagine it. We can't run it the same way that we have before, because it's just not possible during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're not sure about what potential restrictions may be in place. So as I mentioned, that key focus is on collaboration, the theme of better together. And really what we're hoping to do is use this opportunity to create valuable partnerships. So that's with other national organisations, because I think it's really important that we come together on this and have a collective effort around the festival. Acknowledge the incredible work that organisations have done in adapting the provision to ensure that the learners' needs continue to be met. And we've heard that time and time again at membership webinars from feedback from members, just about the absolutely incredible work that's happening. So I guess a focus is consulting with groups about what activities you would like to run as a festival. We don't want to necessarily come up with all of those ideas, because it's very much down to local participation. So we're hoping that you'll have ideas of what you would like to do. And again, we don't want this to be extra work. We would like the festival to highlight the fantastic work that's already happening, so that it's not an extra piece of work. So yeah, I've talked through that, but really it's just, you know, looking at those challenges, but then also using it to spread a message of hope. And a local approach is absolutely key. I guess from AONTAS' perspective, we do a national promotional campaign. That's why we run the festival. It's really to highlight what's happening at a local level, but we really want that link at local level to be really strong. In terms of collaboration for 2021, we're hoping to set up an advisory group really to shape those ideas. So that will look at different stakeholders, also include different festivals from around the country to, I guess, get ideas from what else is happening. We've had some presentations from European colleagues who run festivals during 2020, and that was really useful to see what other European countries did during the COVID-19 pandemic. They still managed to run amazing festivals, but it was in a much different context than what they may have done before. So getting feedback from members is key. really to shaping our 2021 festival, and this webinar is a key part of that, and I guess a first stepping stone. We're hoping to host collaborative events with other organisations during the festival. So there may be less local events, but maybe AONTAS will be looking at, you know, different masterclasses and maybe a different focus each day on a theme. And then I guess looking at a collective approach to communicating information. That's, I guess, one of the benefits of collaboration, is kind of spreading the message about what's happening. So most of you may have seen this before, just in terms of some of the key messages around the festival, but the key purpose of the festival is to highlight the importance of adult learning, the many positive benefits for individuals, families and communities. And I guess in a time of COVID-19, we've heard so much about adult learning providing a lifeline for many people, and really we want to highlight that during the festival. And collaboration, it's now more important than ever. Maybe before people were doing it, no, I won't say reluctantly, but it can be challenging. And I think during COVID-19, we've really seen at local level groups pulling resources together, sharing of ideas to continue to meet the needs of learners, which ultimately is what we're all focused towards. In terms of target groups, we always have the target groups in terms of membership, you know, adult learning organisations. It really allows us to broaden out adult learning during the festival and create I guess, new collaborative pieces with different organisations. So we will be looking at stakeholder engagement plan for 2021 that will look at new groups. So again, we're really open to maybe different ideas on groups that we haven't engaged with before, and including them in the festival. I won't go too much into the Star Awards, but it was just a flag that we did launch the Star Awards on the 23rd of November. Barry's going to go into that, but that was just a broad overview of the 5 categories that we have this year, and we will have a special award for mitigating educational disadvantage during COVID-19, and an ESF special recognition award for ESF funder groups. So I won't go into too much on that, but I guess in terms of some ideas of like how we could support groups to take part, and this is something that we would be really interested in, because like I said, none of our plans are set in stone, but we do want to ensure a more localized approach. So I guess in some of the European countries, they have local festival champions. So people who have really taken part in the festival before really see the benefit and can encourage other groups in their local area without taking up too much time to maybe come together and run events together, whether that's online. I guess we really want to get that feedback of what the festival could look like. Online communications toolkit, which we always put together. Whether we'll have a physical event in a bag next year, I'm not sure, because it'll be really dependent. But anything that would help support you to take part would be really interesting to hear about. We have the brilliant onestep.up.ie platform, which is part of our information and referral service, and my colleague Sam looks after that. So I guess we're looking at ways that we could really utilise that platform to host Adult Learner Festival events, or information about different options that are available. Potential incentives for groups to take part. We do always produce a load of promotional material, event in a bag, to support groups, but maybe we need to reimagine that in terms of what that looks like. And then we use our online presence in a huge way in terms of spreading the message, doing a campaign in the lead up and during the festival, and we'll be doing that using our Better Together hashtag. So just in terms of how we spread the message from a national organisation, you know, we do lots of networking, different meetings with groups. We'll have sponsors on board for the Star Awards. We link in with the board. We'll have a dedicated festival newsletter, which will be regularly sent out to groups, that will hopefully create momentum and share information about activities. We do lots of media, so we've been on local radio this week promoting the Star Awards, and we do that throughout the festival as well. Advertising campaigns, we'll be looking at how we can do that as well. We normally do it on radio, and we'll be looking at online. Social media campaign, which my colleague Emma would be looking after, and she does a fantastic job of that. So we always find that's really successful in terms of spreading the message locally. And again, from our perspective, we use photography and videos in a huge way during the festival. And again, we'll have to see what is possible next year. Learner stories are collated as part of all of the Star Award nominations, and we'll be looking at how we can really utilise those fantastic personal stories of returning to learning, because again, we often find that's what's most successful in terms of the communications work, because we can say how great it is from organizational perspectives, but having it from the word of mouth of learners is hugely powerful. So again, we'll be looking at doing that. So just in terms of just some of the sharing platforms, and I'm sure you're aware of all of these, but we have the AONTAS website, onestepup.ie, which we've used over the last couple of years to host events, because it's already a website that gains fantastic momentum throughout the year. So it's something that we look to utilize during the festival. We have our AONTAS newsletter, plus we'll have the festival bulletin. We'll be linking in with groups such as the Palais and other networks, NALA, just to share information on the Star Awards and Festival. And I've just included all of the social media channels there to just keep up to date on all of the information that's been sent out. So there's a couple of questions there which we'll go back to, but maybe just to start thinking about, you know, what would you like the festival to look like in 2021 in terms of what activities? So whether you think it'll be feasible to run local events, or whether you would like AONTAS to host online events and bring different groups together, what support you'd like to participate in the festival, because again, we're still looking at that, and just what activities you would like to do, and think about maybe. I know it's very difficult. Groups haven't really thought too much ahead in terms of next year. But if you are thinking about different, you know, I know Michael Hallisey was talking about blended learning last week, but different options, different things that you might be thinking about. We really want to use this session today to get your feedback, so that we can shape a really fantastic plan for the festival in 2021 and support you to promote the just fantastic benefits of adult learning, and really just extend the reach to as many people as possible.
So I'm just going to very quickly go through some of the platform. I'm not going to go through the whole lot of it, but when you basically arrive at the place to nominate your group, you'll be asked to register first. Now, if you've already registered in previous years, you don't have to do that. You can just go straight towards your basically login details. And again, don't worry if you've forgotten your password. You can basically follow the forgotten password, because I think we've all done that at some stage. So once we enter into this part, it will ask you, basically, it'll sort of give you a little bit of details regarding the nomination, and you'll see a button down here basically where it says start nomination. Now, just a little tip for anyone that that has nominated before. You can actually go into this section here, which says active seasons, and you can go back and look at some of your previous seasons that you might have been active, that you might have had a nomination. So again, there might be details there that you can reuse. But we're going to, for this demonstration, we'll just do that. It's going to be brand new. So we start a nomination, and that then brings us straight in then to the nomination form. The best thing about this form is once you've completed this first page, you can save it. You can come back to it the following day or the next few hours, but it gives you that flexibility. So it'll ask you straight away what your category is. For instance, if we're doing social inclusion, we can put in social inclusion, and it'll give you a little bit of details here regarding what the social inclusion and category is all about. So the nominated initiative, we'll just do test, because I can then see it on the other side. And then if you are a member of AONTAS. Now, if you're not a member of AONTAS, that's absolutely no problem. You're still very, very welcome to join and be part of both be part of AONTAS, but also you don't have to join to enter the Star Awards. And it'll ask you the size of your organization. It will also ask you then, how is your organization or your initiative, who's it organized by? So again, it might be, for instance, a community group. And once we do that save, that means we're allowed now to go through the different tabs, and we can add and take away details as we please, all the way up, just so we all know, all the way up until the nomination deadline. So even though you might have submitted it, you can still edit this all the way up until the 18th. Then it will ask you a few questions. So again, the first question up is, are you a European Social Fund? And there is a special award for groups that are funded by the European Social Fund. And then this is where it starts to get tricky then, all right, where we really will be concentrating. But again, we can go away, we can actually divide out the work, give it to maybe different members of your group or your organization, and then come back and fill it in. but it will ask then for a short summary. And again, there's a 200-word cap on that. It'll ask you about how is your initiative learner-centered. It'll ask you about your stakeholders. And again, really what they're looking for there, as Martin said, they want to see that, basically they want to see that what you're doing, is it linking up with other members of other stakeholders? Is it other members of the community? Is it even a sporting organization or a different health organization? How are you making those links? And the questions then follow on then, obviously for this one here, because we're doing social inclusion, how does your initiative support social inclusion? Now there's a 400-word count on that. So again, there's plenty of space and time to sort of let those whole ideas flow and make sure that the big thing I would say is really do make it as readable and as presentable as possible to the judges. You've got to remember the judges could be looking at maybe 20 different or more, sometimes 20 different applications. They really want to see bullet points. They want to see, you know, underlined, basically, or bold font. Obviously, don't overuse it, but it's really important that you highlight all the excellent work that you're doing. They'll also ask questions such as list the main outcomes and the progression opportunities. And then this question here, as you may be able to see, it's regarding COVID-19. And it really is how has your group or organization or initiative, how have they managed and responded to COVID-19 pandemic? And there is a special award for that as well through the Star Awards this year. Finally, I'm just going to go through a few other questions. So what we have is explain how your initiative or why your initiative should win a Star Award. That'll be easy for many. And now we get to the really important part, the learner story. Now this is really, really important because there's marks for this, and what do you call it? It's important that you choose a learner, ask them to write the story, or you can write it on their behalf. But as long as obviously they're fully aware of what's going on. But this is something that the judges take very, very seriously, and it's really important because it will highlight how your work has impacted on a learner. When we go to attachments, you have five attachments are allowed, and these could include everything from a promotional flyer, a video, might be a document of your curriculum, and again, anything that really will support the work that you're doing and your application. And then finally, it asks for the person, the contact person for the initiative. So again, if you're nominating, and you might be nominating your own initiative, you might be nominating somebody else's. So this is the details of the initiative, their address, the county that they're in. And then the final part is just basically, where did you hear about the Star Awards, and just that you're certifying that the bits and pieces that you're adding to it are basically correct. So hopefully I have you all back. There's a lot of details there, I know, but it really is important, just I suppose, to stress that one, after today, as part of this here, we will be sending out the questions and the word counts to everybody, so you'll have them there. So again, it shouldn't just be about yourself to fill in the forms. If you can basically bring a team together, which might include your board, might include the learners, might include other members of staff, it's really important that we share out the work, especially at these times, because we know that there's a lot of pressure on people. So we are trying to make it as easy as possible to nominate. The other thing I will just say, just before I bring in two of our past winners, is for myself, one of my first interactions with AONTAS was basically through the Star Awards, and it was really, really important, I suppose, for myself. At the time, we really wanted to bring the learners on board with us, and we really wanted to highlight the work that they were doing. So the Star Awards gave us a great sort of opportunity to focus the learners, to bring everyone together, to look forward to something, you know, really, really positive. And obviously, when we did it, I was in Monaghan at the time, still in Monaghan, but when I was in Monaghan at the time, in Casablanca, it was a great opportunity, I suppose, for just to bring everyone together. And then go through the whole process then as well of being meeting the judges and going to the ceremony as well. So it really was something very, very special, and to this day people still do talk about it. And obviously with the Facebook memories are coming up and all the rest of it. So the crack's always good, but it is something that they don't forget, and they really do remember. And plus, we were able to bring learners with us to the ceremony as well, which just made it all the more special. So that's enough talking from myself. I'm just going to bring in Niamh and Marian now, if that's okay. And so Niamh, we might ask yourself, Niamh, this is Niamh Kelly, and Niamh, I'm going to spotlight you as well, just to, you know, put the pressure on. But Niamh, you were involved with the Star Awards last year. I suppose maybe you want to just tell people a few thoughts you have on the whole process.
So first of all, I'd say to anyone, if you are thinking about it, to just do it, to definitely just put your name in the ring. We're an LTI program, so we're a very small organization. We have one award that we give every year, which is a level 5 major award in culture and heritage studies, and we're based in the National Print Museum. And for about 4 years, we thought about the Star Awards, and we talked ourselves out of it. We thought of all the reasons why we actually shouldn't participate in it, mostly down to the fact that, look, we're really small, we have small number of learners, we have maximum of 14, and actually during the pandemic now we only have 7. And yeah, we gave ourselves a lot of reasons not to do it. But the reason why we decided last year to try was because, for as small and tiny as we were, our students were doing fantastic things. They were really genuinely going on and doing brilliant work, going into 3rd level, going on furthering their education beyond our program. And so we decided that, in recognition of all the hard work that they were doing, that we wanted to put our nomination in for them, essentially. So we entered in under the 3rd level access and engagement category. We took one of our current learners who was on our program from this year as part of it, because he was aspiring to go on to further education, and we took someone who had gone from our program and was currently completing a degree in Mayo in GMIT in heritage studies, and we got them to tell their stories and talk about their experiences and put them at the front, and we were successful. And for all of the reasons why we shouldn't have done it sooner, I don't know why, we should have, and that's why I would encourage you, no matter what size of your organization is, no matter how few learners you have coming out of your program every year, or, you know, participants in your program or staff, you know, it doesn't make what you're doing any less valuable to them, to the community that you're in. And I think it's worth kind of showing that work off in a way that I think is in a fantastically positive platform. One of the biggest benefits we got out of the Star Wars last year was just sitting in a room with so many fantastic organizations. Now, I know it's going to be a virtual room this year, but we had no idea of the amazing work going on, seeing everyone's videos, seeing everyone's programs. We were the last category of award coming up, and by the time it came to us, we were like, Jesus Christ, don't give us anything. We definitely don't deserve it. We've sat in this room listening to all these fantastic people for like an hour and a half, but it was a real community feeling. And oftentimes, at least I feel that we're very insular. Like for the Learner Festival, we look inwards, we look at what we're doing, how we can promote ourselves, but we don't spend, or at least I don't think we spend enough time engaging with other programs. And I think that that's going to be a really positive part of the Learner Festival this year, is the fact that maybe we can work with other communities kind of closer and have that engagement with more programs. So yeah, very positive experience. I would do it 100%. I'd recommend anyone just put it in, try. We didn't think we'd get anywhere, and we were very pleased that we did, even for just meeting all the fantastic people that we did.
We're going to have to do something there. We're going to have to give you another prize just for that alone.
I thought it was a cash envelope, no?
Niamh, that was great, and that does save me having to say any more, really. So I'm just, Niamh, thanks very much. I'm just going to ask Marian now as well. She'd like to maybe give a few thoughts. So Marian is coming from Ability at Work and stroke the Cope Foundation. And so, yeah, Marian, if you'd like to say a few bits and pieces just regarding, I suppose, the process and really the outcome then as well.
Hi Barry, thanks very much. I suppose just to give you a little bit of background, we're a very small group, Ability at Work, and there's 5 staff in our programme, and we're supporting up to 70 students now at this stage down in Cork. But Ability at Work is part of a bigger charity organisation, Cope Foundation. So I suppose, like Niamh, you know, I've been following AONTAS' story for years, and I just felt our programme was established 2 years ago, And like that, between the learning and the job preparation, training and the employment piece that the job coaches do on our program, I just felt last year, you know, we might just have a look at this award. There was one section that we applied under, which was the Sustainable Employment Project for large organisations. And I thought, you know, that maybe we're a good fit here, and it would be just lovely if we could kind of capture what we were doing and just to see if we would be suitable. Now, I must say, when I went on the website, because I do think everything that AONTAS does is absolutely so professional, and the application form, not to mind looking at the gorgeous award, it's a bit daunting at the start, you know, but we put in our application, and, you know, yeah, we were very lucky. We got to go to interview. I must say that journey up that day, we brought 3 of our participants with us. They were amazing like that. They told their story. We were being filmed, and we absolutely numb during the filming piece, but they were fantastic, and they definitely told their story. But I suppose after that, and it's a little bit poignant really, the last day that we went as a group, as a staff, and with participants up close, was the 5th of March, was the day in the Law Society where we were up in the reception. And, you know, I still get butterflies about it now. It's just the absolute shock that we won. And it was absolutely amazing day. It was just the way we were treated, as Niamh said, meeting all the other people. And it's just the occasion. It was really, really fantastic, and it was a gorgeous venue. And the excitement going home on the train with the award, I think everybody on the train to Cork knew that we'd won. You know, it was fantastic. And I suppose on a personal level, I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this idea, that this training employment project in Cork, in the organisation I work with, because we have 400 people who want to upskill and train and go out and live a more independent life. And we were only able to take the 70 people onto our project. But, you know, to put an application forward for something that was going on in my head for maybe 5 years, and then for something that we were working on between 5 of us, and to put that project forward nationally and to get the recognition we got, you know, that was just absolutely amazing. And I know for Co-Foundation, they were so proud for us as a very small division, supporting 70 people out of the 2,500 that attend their services every day. They were delighted. And, you know, it was just then going back out, the employers heard about it, and we were able to put it up on our social media, and that had a great response. You know, we had employers coming back congratulating us and possibly taking more notice. And, you know, I feel that in the future, you know, we'll be looking for more funding. So I think it will give, you know, kudos to the programme, and I think it'll be great standing on that side of it. But I suppose what we feel more than anything is a huge pride that we won this, you know. But like, I'd really encourage everybody to get involved. I mean, what a day. Even the interview, even though it's nerve-wracking, it's brilliant. I mean, the staff couldn't be nicer. They were just fantastic to us up there, and the process was amazing. But I suppose the impact for us is that AONTAS have opened up so many doors for us, you know, just in networking. We were able to bounce ideas off them. They've come back to us and they've spoken to us about certain ideas, and we've done training with you, we've advocacy going on, and it's just all the exposure that you give us on social media, and you're there, you know, backing us every inch of the way. I mean, unfortunately, the year that was in it, we were slow maybe to get back in after lockdown to engage with you. It was kind of August before we started getting up and going again, you know. But I'd have to say it's some year, and like you said, Barry, like you know, there's no week goes by that you don't think about it, or you know, you see the award, you look at it, but they're just such lovely memories for us. And I know all of our participants were so proud, and particularly the 3 people that came up and presented with us as well, you know. So yeah, it's really brilliant. I'll be sad when the year is over, actually, when we'll have to hand on our mantle. So I hope that's of help to you.
Oh, that's a super help, Marian. Listen, thanks very much. And funny of the way you were describing it there, and I see Alice there from KCAT as well, just on. It did actually bring back memories of the Law Society and just the crack. And I remember even talking to Niamh and her group out in the hall. And yeah, Niamh was definitely in shock going, do we have to hand this back now, or what do we do? Just as it's your award, do we as go?
Yeah.
So, you know, so it was really, really positive, and it's great. It's great for the organization, and it does, like, look, it has your organization and its national award winners, and I think that's really, really important.
Hello, my name is Martin Flynn, and I am the Chief Executive of Open College Network NI. I'm sorry I can't make the event today, however I'm delighted to be able to contribute via video message. OCN is a leading awarding body based in Belfast and have been a supporter of the Star Awards for a number of years now. It's a privilege being a judge and hearing about all the fantastic initiatives that are running throughout Ireland. And if you're attending today's event, you're obviously thinking about nominating an adult learning initiative on behalf of your organisation. It goes without saying that 2020 has been a challenging year for everyone due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I would encourage everyone to apply for a Star Award to showcase their initiative and share some much needed good news in 2021. The Star Awards are not just about receiving a beautiful trophy. They will highlight the work of your organisation on a national stage and recognise the individual learning journey of everyone involved in your organisation. Each year, I am blown away by the work of AONTAS, their members, their staff and volunteers, and I'm sure that nominations for 2021 will be just as inspiring. So, what are the judges looking for in a successful application? Well, in essence, we want to understand what your initiative is all about, why it was established, and what difference it has made to people's lives. Remember to tell us what is unique about your project. For example, did it target a specific group of disadvantaged learners or members of the community? And also, tell us about any organisations that you've collaborated with to deliver your project, and provide us with specific examples of teamwork and how this has ultimately benefited your learners. As judges, we're also keen to hear about the progression of learners. We love our stats, so if X percentage of participants moved into employment or further education, make sure to tell us. Likewise, tell us about any other associated benefits of your project. For example, the positive impact on the wider family circle or any associated health benefits. Finally, remember that your learners are the stars of your project. Their stories are the secret ingredients to a successful application, so remember to share their success with us. So I hope that this was useful, and I hope that you will consider submitting your project for an award in 2021. This is a great opportunity to celebrate all that is great about adult learning and community education. Good luck everyone, and I hope to see some of you in person next year.